My name is Chris Cooper, and this is the state of the fitness industry. Let's talk about staff, full-time employees, and part-time employees. In a yoga studio, the average yoga studio has about one full-time employee and about four part-time employees. The average CrossFit gym is very similar, about one full-time employee and maybe about six part-time employees. This makes a lot of sense because both of those types of studios are open for limited hours, but those hours are spread across like a 15-hour day. Martial arts is more likely to have more full timers and more part time employees. But the martial arts model, if you think about it, lends itself to a couple of senior instructors and a lot of assistants. They might not even be paid. Personal training had fewer, one full time employee, two to three part timers. So when I had a personal training studio, which is how Catalyst started, it was me, and then it was me and Mike full time. And then there were two or three part time trainers who were making a side income doing personal training while they were building up their physiotherapy practice or whatever they were working on. The varied gyms, the access selling gyms, typically had four or five full-time employees and eight or nine part-timers. And this is largely because they would have like a managerial staff, a sales staff, they would have desk staff, they would have more cleaners because they've got bigger space. So while they might have more clients, they also have a much higher payroll. It's far more common to have part-time staff than full-time staff in all segments. That's not a bad thing. A lot of coaches who are part-time coaching 1 or 2 hours a day, even 3 hours a week, they bring a lot of energy and passion to the class, where sometimes owners who work 20 classes a week, they just get tired. And I can't imagine coaching 40 hours a week, that you would just be roasted. I've also broken down number of employees by size, which is super interesting. Like, how many employees do you need? And is that correlated to the size of your gym? And also employees by contractor or employee status. That's also very interesting. And that's on page 31 of the guide. We also broke down what compensation was. So this is interesting. If you look across all 6,000 plus gyms in the model, the average coach compensation for a class was $22. The lowest segments were CrossFit at $21 per class, and the gyms that had like varied offerings. Typically, what's happening there is the gym is trading a membership against the cost of leading the class. It's not that there's a super qualified instructor there, but qualification doesn't determine what you're paid. How much the gym earns in revenue and profit determines what the coaches are paid. It's really important to grow the pie. The highest segment was actually martial arts, and I'm going to bet that that's because they have like the highest salary. So if we look at the median highest salary in full-time employees, we'll see that yoga, the median highest salary was 20,000, but most salaries were lower. The mean highest salary was 16,950. CrossFit, the median highest salary was 24,000. But if we average all salaries, it's 25,913 for a full-time person. Martial arts was the highest at 41,000, and strength and conditioning was the lowest at 12,000 for salaries. Keep in mind that a lot of these strength and conditioning gyms employ interns, and that's going to pull that mean salary down to about zero. So while the person is working full-time, they're really not getting paid much. Let's talk about the estimated business value. So earlier, I compared size and number of clients against estimated value. Now I want to talk about who is estimating the value of their gym, how they're estimating it, and does that depend on how long they've been in business? See, the value of your gym is not a straight line. You don't win a prize for being around longer. The valuation of your gym comes solely from how much you're paid as the owner. What is your net owner benefit? So what's interesting here is that gym owners who estimated that the value of their gym was between $0 and $60,000 had been in business for about 4 years. And that was about 26% of everybody. The gyms who estimated that their value was 60 to 120,000, that was about 23% of respondents, and they'd been in business for 5 years. But of course, there's no magical tipping point at the 4-year mark that doubles the value of your business. They've done something different. gym owners who valued their gym between 122 and 250,000. That was most people. There's 27. It was the highest segment, and they had been in business for an average of 7 years. And the gym owners who estimated that their gym was worth more than $250,000 was the lowest amount of respondents at 23. They had been in business for 8 years. So what's really interesting here is that there's no linear progression in value of a gym. You do not get more value for your gym just by staying open longer. You get more value for your gym by making it more profitable over time. Now, the interesting thing here is that the people who valued their gyms the highest and the people who value their gyms the lowest were not the most likely to want to sell. So we asked, if you were approached by somebody and with an offer to sell your gym, would you sell it? The people who said that their gym was worth less than $60,000, very few of them would have sold, probably because they're newer to the industry, probably because they realize that they wouldn't get great value for it right now. They might as well just keep building. That makes sense to me. The highest percentage who said that, yes, I would sell, was the people whose gyms were in the $122,000 to $250,000 revenue or value. They were more likely to sell. 31% of them said yes, 31% said maybe, and only a third of them said, yeah, absolutely not. There's no way I would do that. The interesting thing, though, is that those are the gyms that are also the most profitable. The gyms that are worth 122 to 250,000 were 78% likely to be profitable. They were also the ones that were most likely to sell, probably because they understood the correlation between value of the actual gym and the profitability of the gym. Profitability compared to whether you own or lease your gym. Now, there's an inverse correlation here. It's a two-way street. So if you own your gym, you're more likely to be profitable because you need profit to buy the building. And when I say own a gym, I meant own your building. On the other hand, if you own your building, you're more likely to be profitable because either you're not paying rent or you're paying yourself rent as the landlord in a separate holdings company, which is what I do. So this is interesting. Gyms that are in 0 to 2,500 square feet, only 8.9% of those owners own the building. That number almost doubles. So gyms that are in 6,200 square feet, 13% of those owners own their buildings, and 74% of those are profitable. That's amazing. Now, it could be that the gyms that are in 2,500 square feet or less, with 44% of them being profitable and only 8% owning their building, it could just be that they're new. And it could also be that the bigger gyms, 6,200 square feet, 74% of them are profitable, 13% own their building. It could just be that they've been around for a long time. That's me. I fall into that category. I have just over 6,000 square feet in the building that houses my gym. I own the gym. The gym has been profitable now for 12 years.